What's going on YouTube? We got more iRacing content for you this week. It's going to be Season 4, Week 11 in the GT3 series once again. This week we're going to be going around Sebring International Raceway on the International configuration, and we're going to be taking the Porsche 992 around the track once again. I ran this track once last year in the Ferrari 296, although I struggled to be competitive and have any real pace last year, although that was one of my first times running the GT3 car in iRacing. This year, we're still going to be struggling a little bit with pace. This race that you're going to see was my 5th of the night, and going into this race, I was running around the 2-minute 3.0 mark, with a little bit more pace in the bank, to maybe be able to get in that 2-minute 2 range. Going to start a quali, I had a good sunset bend to start my first lap, and the first lap was pretty good up until turn 15, where I got a little bit loose out of the corner, lost some time there, and then didn't have the best Le Mans, so I lost some time down Ullman Straight. Going into Sunset Bend, I was a little bit too conservative, a little too scared through the corner, slowed down a little bit too much, didn't have the best exit as well, so we're going to lose quite a bit of time through that corner, a couple tenths, as well as messing up our second lap a little bit for the start of it, although we're going to actually get up on our second lap, and we're going to be up 2 tenths on our first lap going into the hairpin, though we're going to lose all that time as we come out of the hairpin, and we're going to be down a couple hundredths from our first lap. Coming out of Cunningham on our second lap, we are going to get loose and drop down now to 3 tenths off our first lap, and pushing to trying to gain that time back, I'm going to go off track as I come out of tower to invalidate my second lap. So my first lap is going to have to be good enough, and that first lap was going to be a 2-minute 3.217, which is going to be good enough for P7 for the start, which we're going to be looking to try to fight up into the top 5 for this race. Maybe fight for a podium, although I don't think I'm going to have the pace to be able to fight for that, but we'll fight there if we can get there. And at the worst, we want to try to stay in the positive iRating positions, which for this race will be P9. For the start of the grid, P6 does not take the grid, so while it's not going to affect us, P8, the number 8 Corvette, is going to move up to P6, and the number 17 Audi R8 in P10 is going to move up to P8 beside us. So with all that being said, if you like what you see in this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get to the behind the pace car, and let's see what we can make of our P7 quali.
Okay, rolling start, car number 15, P7. Pole position behind Noel in the left column. Okay, Rob, be ready. Go. Unclear right, car right. Hold your line, right side's clear.
As we came to the green flag, we were able to get a better start than the cars ahead and be able to pull alongside to the number 8 Corvette and P6 and be able to keep our nose on the inside of the number 3 McLaren as we came into Genderby, which slowed him a little bit through the corner, allowing us to get a better exit as we came out of turn 1. So that great start is going to move us up from P7 to P5, and we didn't lose much time to P4 ahead. So as we come through Big Bend and continue on with lap 1, we're going to be looking to gain more positions while also trying to keep that number 3 McLaren behind us. But as we come into the hairpin, I'm going to get dangerously close to the number 13 Ferrari ahead in P4. As we came into the braking zone, I realized how close I was going to get to the Ferrari ahead and kept my steering straight, and I had a late turn in for the corner. Our mistake isn't going to come back to bite us though, as number 3 McLaren wasn't close enough to send it down our inside, and as he come out of the hairpin, he's going to have a little bit of a wheel spin, which is going to give us some breathing room, but not a lot, but we're also going to fall back from the Ferrari just a little bit.
Come on, Rob, don't overdrive it.
Car right. Clear right.
As we came into the hairpin, we were 4 tenths off the Ferrari ahead, and our mistake through the hairpin, as well as overdriving through Cunningham and Tower, is going to drop us back to 1.3 seconds off that Ferrari, which also allowed number 3 McLaren behind to get real close to us and even get a little bit of a peep on our right side as we came out of Tower and into Bishops, However, he needed to back out as we came through Bishop, which may have slowed him through turn 15 and through Le Mans as we got a better exit, and the number 8 Corvette and the number 17 Audi are going to be right on the number 3 McLaren as they go down Ulm Straight, and as they go into Sunset Bend, the number 8 Corvette is going to send it down the inside of number 3, and the number 17 is going to try to follow the path of the Corvette. However, the number 17 is not going to be able to make it stick, and the number 3 is going to be able to defend his position and limit the damage as we come to the start of lap 2, and this little bit of fighting behind is going to gain us a 7/10 gap to number 8 Corvette behind. Unfortunately, the gap ahead to P4 has been opened up to nearly 2 seconds, so it does not seem we're going to have the pace to be able to compete with them and be able to gain more positions, so we're going to have to focus on keeping it clean and defending from these cars behind.
P5. Alright Rob, we've just cut the track.
Losing some time to the Corvette behind throughout the lap, as well as making another mistake out of Tower and out of Le Mans this time, is going to put the number 8 Corvette right on us as we come down Ulm Straight and into Sunset Bend. The number 8 Corvette is going to make a little bit of a mistake and had a bit of a moment which caused them to go a little bit wide out of the corner, but at the same time we might not have taken the best line through the corner and got on the gas a little bit early, sending us a little bit wide out of the corner, making me get off the gas as we came out onto the front stretch.
Oh god, that McLaren came out of nowhere.
And as me and the 8 have a bad sunset corner, number 3 is going to have a fantastic one and get a great run on me as we go down the front stretch. He's going to have a bit of a tap with the wall and then send it down our inside as we go into Gender B end. But sending it down the inside is going to send him slower through the corner, and as he touches the wall, as he comes through the apex of the corner, we're going to be able to get a better exit out of the corner and send it side by side as we go down into turn 3. And we're going to be able to make the move stick to be able to retain our position and fight back into P5. However, our victory is going to be very short-lived as we're going to make a mistake as we come through turn 5.
Nah.
I think I didn't brake enough into the corner and got on the throttle too early, sending myself into the dirt, which is going to knock me down from P5 all the way to P8, which absolutely destroys me mentally in the moment.
A little bit of good racing and then just one mistake throws it all away. But not out of it yet, so keep our head up.
After a frustrating day of racing, struggling with pace both in practice and in my races, as well as getting involved in some unfortunate incidents in my races, and this race happening when it's starting to get a little bit late for me, I was easily frustrated by my mistake and focused on the mistake rather than the other good racing we were having, literally a corner earlier. Despite my initial frustrations, I was able to bounce back and give myself the motivation to stay in it mentally, as we still right behind these cars we just gave up the positions to, and we can still fight to be able to get back and gain back the positions we just gave up.
Got a little over-ambitious about the first half of that thing.
Incident in Sunset. We think it might be Andre.
Things up ahead are going to get a little interesting as number 13 Ferrari is going to lose the rear end as he comes into Sunset Bend. And his mistake is going to let the number 8 Corvette and number 3 McLaren whiz right by him. Unfortunately for us, we're also going to make a mistake through Sunset Bend and have to lift off the throttle as we come out of the corner to avoid smashing into the wall, which is going to kill our run onto the front stretch, which means we're going to be the last car in this group of cars that's not going to be able to take advantage of the number 13's mistake and to be able to gain a position, but we're going to be right on the bumper of them as we come into Gender BN, and the number 17 ahead who is able to gain a position on the 13 is going to tap the wall through the corner, which is going to give the 17 a slow exit as he comes through the corner, which is going to allow the number 13 to get a run on him and dive it down the inside as they go into turn 3, and he's just going to be able to keep it on the outside as the 17 has to lift through turn 4, and the 13's just going to be able to send down the inside of turn 5 to be able to get the move done on the 17. And now with them having a little bit of a fight, it's going to allow us to get in the fight and be right on the bumper of the 17 as we come down Big Bend on the run up to the hairpin. As all three of us are so close, we're not going to have a good enough run to get alongside with the 17, but he's not going to send it down the inside of the 13, so we're going to send it down the inside of him. But my lack of experience on the inside going into the hairpin is going to make me be not brave enough on the brakes to not be able to really send it down the inside of the 17. And all this battling that backed us up into the 17 is also going to back us up into the number 4 Porsche and the number 16 Porsche behind us, all while the number 3 McLaren and the number 8 Corvette are nowhere to be seen. So this has very quickly become a damage control race, and we need to clean up our mistakes, because while I want to be able to fight to gain back the positions I lost ahead, we now have P9 and P10 behind us, and P10 will be a negative iRating result, so we want to be able to keep it clean and maintain our position at the very least, as this now has become a 5-car battle.
Just had a warning for cutting the track.
As we came into Sunset Bend, number 13 Ferrari took a defensive line to the inside, and as the number 17 Audi behind tried to be more aggressive and make an overtake happen, he went a little bit slower through the corner, and we were able to get a good exit and get a run down the front stretch, which is going to allow us to peep our nose to the inside of the number 17 as we go into Gender BN, making him take a little bit more of an outside line and be slow through the corner, compromising his exit and letting us get a better exit as we come down the run to turn 3. We're going to be able to send it down the inside of him, but unlike the number 13 Ferrari last lap, we're not going to be able to make the move stick, as we may have been a little bit too far back and weren't brave enough on the brakes, and the number 17 is going to be able to learn from his mistakes and not mess up as we go through turn 4. And then I'm once again going to make another mistake through turn 5 as I take too shallow of a line and get too much curb, compromising my exit. And I realize I didn't have the best turn 5, so I know I'm going to be under pressure from the number 4 Porsche behind, so I'm going to take a defensive inside line as we go into hairpin. And as the number 4 Porsche behind stayed tucked in our slipstream, the number 16 Porsche behind is going to be able to jump first to the outside line and not only send it around the outside of the 4, but also around the outside of us. The hairpin was definitely a struggle corner for me, and I may have been a little bit too careful on the brakes, as well as taking a little bit of a shallow line on the inside, trying to be too defensive. But while we might not have had the best corner, I also have to give credit to this 16 for making a great double overtake stick. It was a great move by him. I'd love to get your thoughts on what's the best defensive and overtaking line going into the hairpin, as I've struggled with it a lot, and that move made the outside line seem better for defending, but I don't know if I was just too bad on the inside line, so let me know in the comments. It was definitely frustrating to lose another position, but we're still right behind the 16, and we're still in a positive iRating position, so we have to make sure to defend from the 4 behind and maybe still be able to fight up with the 16 and the 17 ahead.
This has been a defensive masterclass. My contact is falling out.
We once again didn't get the best exit out of Le Mans, but we're going to get a little bit more breathing room here, as on number 4 Porsche behind is going to take too much speed into Sunset Bend and go really wide out of the corner, having to lift a lot on exit. And as we got Sunset Bend good, being able to run flat out all the way to the wall, we're going to be able to build a little bit more of the gap to the number 4 behind. And as we come to the start of lap 6 and come into Gender BN, he's going to help us build that gap even more, as just as he did in Sunset Bend, he's going to take too much speed through the corner and is going to run wide into the dirt on exit. So now with the 4 helping us build that gap a little bit more, we're going to have less pressure on us from behind to be able to focus to keep with the cars ahead as they start picking up the pace.
P9.
As the lap has gone on, the number 16 has been able to get to the rear end of the number 17 Audi and put pressure on him and keep it there, as he's had a couple of looks throughout the lap, but as they come down to the hairpin, he's going to be able to send it down the inside. It was a late lunge waiting for the perfect time to send it down the inside on the Audi, as another great move by the 16 into the hairpin. But the move's not going to fully be done, as the Audi's still going to get a good run out of the hairpin, is going to be able to keep with the 16 as they go down towards Cunningham. But 16 is going to be ahead, is going to take a defensive line into Cunningham, having good car placement on the inside, being able to defend the position and complete the overtake he just made. And the battling between the 16 and the 17 are going to drop us right back into this battle, as we're going to be right on the bumper of the number 17, and we're going to be looking to gain back at least one of those positions we lost earlier.
I had to stop being slow, and I'm the slowest I've been through that corner.
The gap to Christoph ahead is increasing. It's now 1.2 seconds.
After the battling between the 16 and the 17 ahead, we're going to drop off again through pace, making a couple mistakes through Le Mans on the previous lap, but the 17 is going to make a mistake up ahead as he goes wide out of Gender B end, so we're going to have to make this one a clean one and a fast one if we want to get back in this fight.
Okay, Rob, the next car is sketchy. Christoph, car number 17, A license.
I just can't piece it together. We can still make a mistake now, so try our best.
As we come to the start of lap 9, I'm going to run not only my fastest lap of the race so far, but also my fastest lap of the weekend so far, beating out my fastest lap from lap 6 by only a couple hundredths. Battling to get in the fight up ahead has brought the best pace out of me that I've had all weekend, and while we were able to build a big gap to the number 4 behind, we haven't been able to close that gap that much to the number 17 ahead, but we're still right on him, so we got to keep pushing these fast laps and hope he makes a mistake to be able to maybe gain another position out of this.
I think that mistake's gonna probably solidify our position here. We managed to be fast enough to really gap P10 behind us, unless he made a mistake, but
Gap to Christoph ahead is increasing. It's now 1.3 seconds.
you know, I got distracted and kind of thought I was out of it, and he just made a mistake through that corner. I could have gained a lot of time. But
just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
yeah, we're back where we were a lap ago. We're still in the range of him to make a mistake to do battle, so let's focus first lap.
As we come to the white flag, we're going to be pushing all the way to the limit, getting all the way up to the wall as we come out of Sunset Bend, and we're going to be pushing as hard as we can to be able to get to that 17 and get another position before we come to the checker flag, but we're going to need a mistake by hand if we're going to make this happen.
White flag, one more lap. Attention to track limits, please, Rob.
No.
As we're coming to the end of the final lap, the number 17 ahead is going to keep it clean and not make any mistakes, so we're going to have to settle for our P9, and while we made a lot of mistakes, the drop off from the P5 that we gained on the start, we were able to bring out the pace in the end to defend from the number 4 Porsche behind, to be able to solidify our place as the last positive iRating position, gaining us plus 12 from this race, moving us up to 1146 in the sports car class, and during the race we rounded up 7 off tracks with no other incident points, which is going to result in a negative 0.04 safety rating change for us, bringing us down to a 3.06. So while we didn't have the best race, I found the best pace that I have all weekend on a track I've been struggling with, and while we made a lot of mistakes, those mistakes are just great opportunities to learn and get better as we continue on our journey.
Okay, that's gonna be it. Well, we did pretty much nothing but lose positions this race. Some fun wheel to wheel, but you know, just not coming out on the good side of it. But that happens. You know, despite losing the positions, we were still able to maintain a positive iRating position for this race. 7 instant points, not the best, but all pretty much track cuts, so still a very good result, considering everything. And I ran some of my fastest laps I've ran so thus far in this session, so a lot to improve on. This track just has not been the best for me, so we'll take what we can get from it.
P9. Okay, that's the end. Good finish, mate. Well done.